Start. Hey there, here we are. Good morning. It is the Sunday Conversation with Brian Beck and JP, and we are so excited because today we've got three where's the camera? There it is. Woo! Three very basic menu items that are very easy to make. You don't have to really do a whole lot of cooking, especially for lunch. And what's good news is that today's lunch is actually going to be your heavy dose of calories while dinner's pretty light and breakfast is pretty light. But the food is all going to be really good and really easy to shop for. Brian has brought us a special treat on ways that we can even snack on very healthy food. So if you're one of those people during the day where you got to have something going into your mouth like chewing gum or something, we have found a really healthy way that Brian uses to help do that. So I'm going to go around over here to where the burner is at and I'm going to get started. Let Brian tell you about the dehydrated food.
Well, it's funny because when I got over here, I realized we didn't have a can opener, so I can't show you the apples. But the apples that I love about the dehydrated foods are, here's the can of apples, is I get these online at a company called Thrive, and they literally slice the apples, they freeze them, and just pull water out. So that's why it's so light. You can see it's even though this is full of apples, it's easy and light to carry. You can find also these, if you don't want to order online, you can find stuff like this in a regular grocery store these days. I've gone to places like Kroger, Walmart, also some of the higher end ones like Whole Foods, obviously, and Central Market in this area have these as well, and they even have them in snack size for the kiddos too. So instead of sending them off with chips, you can actually put dehydrated fruit, and the apples actually still even have the skin on. I mean, it really is just sliced apples. If you look in the ingredients, and obviously you can't see that there, but you look on the back of these, apples. That's the ingredients, just apples. If you look on here, now this is one of my favorite things to cook at home if I'm in a hurry, but I have refried beans. Refried beans, what do they have? Lard? No, nope. All it is pinto beans that are cooked, dried, freeze-dried, and shaved into real thin slices. So when you mix it mixes up like refried beans. So you have to add your own seasonings. It doesn't even come with any salt in it or anything. I also do the same thing with, now this I'll come to the camera and show you. Those are cooked beans. So it takes about 10 minutes to cook these up at home if you're in a hurry and you just want beans. The reason I like these better than canned is canned beans tend to have more, like sodium and preservatives added to them, where these have nothing, and I have to have I don't trust, and no offense to people like Bush's beans, they're good things, but I don't trust them to know what my palate likes. So instead of getting them all salted and already with everything in them, I like to add my own so I know what I'm putting in my body, that's all. And I also have bell peppers. Now, I only had a few in here to show, but I'll bring these up to the camera so you can see these. I'll put some in my hand. So, there they are. Literally, look like sliced bell peppers. That's all they are. They're not mushy. They're not anything. I can actually take one of these. They're a little bit chewy dry, but I can eat them just like that. And it tastes like a bell pepper. You put a little water with this, and it ends up being as if you got them frozen. Now, that's not a replacement for fresh. You wouldn't use those if you're trying to slice up bell peppers, let's say used for dipping with hummus or something, but if you are wanting to put these in something or just eat them like that, they're a great snack.
Well, and it's really easy because you can cook with these and you don't get all the preservatives and you get to put your own spices in. That's what I like about it. I'm going to start ordering the beans because the beans are low in calorie all by themselves and a high rate of protein that you get as well. And also it helps you volumize your food, which is a big deal to me, is volumizing your food.
Not to mention the dietary fiber in beans as well.
So today we're going to talk about how easy breakfast is. So my breakfast may be, and last week it was quite a bit actually, I think 3 days out of the week, Jimmy Dean sausage. This is turkey sausage. You get it at the grocery store. It's not dietary. It's not, hey, you eat this because you're on some kind of Richard Simmons diet. It's just regular old Jimmy Dean turkey sausage, 100 calories for 2 patties. So that'll be part of my breakfast, and you can warm that up in a microwave.
And speaking of Richard Simmons, next week, JP will be dressed like Richard Simmons.
With a wig. And then we've got, no I won't. Then we've got Eggland's Best cage-free brown eggs. They're large eggs. They're 60 calories a piece. And I have 2 of them, and I had them hard-boiled this week, along with an apple. And if I'm in the mood for PB2, then I might add a tablespoon of PB2 at 22 calories. But this right here with 2 hard-boiled eggs, 2 sausage, and an apple, the apple's 100 calories, the sausage is 100 calories, and the eggs are 120. That's 320 calories for breakfast, and you're full because it's good stuff, and you don't have to have anything else. So a good variation on breakfast. You can buy a container that looks like an egg at the store, at the kitchen store, that you put water in, put your eggs in, put it in the microwave, and you boil them, and your eggs are done in 9 minutes. So you can do everything in the microwave for breakfast today. For lunch, we're keeping it even simpler than that. We're going with what I like. And of course, a good alternative that Brian turned me on to was the pulled chicken from the grocery store, the rotisserie chickens. The calorie count is low, it's more fresh, but if you have to, which I do a lot of times, I don't buy the meat that's already been pre-sliced. I try to buy the carving board meat. It's 60 calories per serving. There's 2 ounces per serving. I will eat 3 servings out of here because there's 7.5 ounces. I'll eat 6 ounces. That's 180 calories for my lunch. It's very easy. Go in a bag, go to work, put it in the fridge, you're ready to go. Then I'm going to add to it all of that. And that's a full plate of food. Whoops, there we go. I've got blueberries, and I just took a handful out, and we figured that here we've got about 15 calories, 15 calories, and 15 calories. That's 5 strawberries, a handful of raspberries. I'll eat a half of an avocado, and then I'll have, as a treat, the Laughing Cow cheese. It's only 35 calories for this particular item. It's spicy pepper jack. So your whole lunch, avocado included, and meat, and we'll bring that back over, and 6 ounces of meat, your lunch, very easy to pack, no cooking required, 360 good calories. And these are good calories. I don't really know that I see anything real bad in this. So you've got that for lunch. So again, a very simple breakfast, very simple lunch, because I did have people tell me, well, JP, I'm not a cook, and I don't want to have to cook. And well, I've just made it where you can use the microwave for breakfast and lunch, and so far, you've only eaten 680 calories. So, that pushes us on to dinner, and I'm really excited about this. First, I've got my very fancy chili cooking kit. Now, don't be afraid of the 60 calories on the side, because I'm not going to use the corn matzah, because I don't need to thicken up my batter. So I'm not using that. Well, when you read the instructions, or when Brian actually read the ingredients,
yeah.
How many?
You're blind as a bat without your glasses.
Without my glasses. So how many calories are in the actual chili powder?
0. Because all it is seasoning. There's the corn masa is where all the calories are.
So there's no calories in this. This is going to be the chili powder, the cayenne pepper, and I'm gonna have a little bit of
paprika,
salt.
But it's all just seasonings. There's no
cumin. So it's all seasonings, no calories in that. So your spices are great, no calories. But I went and got a chili kit because it's easier than trying to maybe mix my own spices, because I've got cumin and chili powder and paprika and all that in my cupboard. But this was just easier. It might be easier for you. So no calories in your kit. I'm going to use some fresh veggies because I love fresh veggies. You can see I've cut a quarter of an onion and diced it. I've cut a tomato. This is a Roma tomato, so it's got a thicker skin, meatier skin. I've cubed it, and then I've got jalapenos. Now, I've already sprayed my pan with Pam, and again, no calories, no carbs, no sugars, no nothing. Now, of course, if you use a bunch, then it's like using oil, so you don't want to do that. So then I'm going to take my spoon, and I'm going to put my onions and my jalapenos, and again, I used a quarter of an onion, because I'm only going to make 4 ounces of turkey. It's like making a single serving. Of course, if you're going to make 20 ounces of turkey for your whole family, then you probably want to go ahead and use an entire onion. I put jalapeno in. Not everybody likes jalapeno. I do like jalapeno.
And just so you know, most stores now, let's say you are short on time, most stores have an area where they have these things pre-chopped in a package.
Well, where your lettuce is at, where you can find your lettuce. Now, again, if you'll notice, I brought in my handy-dandy convection burner, which you can't notice. But again, this thing is the New Wave Precision Convection Burner. Very easy to use. You can't burn yourself with it.
So he just picked it up after he was cooking with it.
Yeah, and it's just heated where the pot is. We're going to start that back up again. The pot's hot, but the burner's not. So I've got my onions and I've got my jalapenos in here, and I'm going to help dice those up a little bit more. And I'm going to saute these for a minute. Onions produce a natural amount of fluid all by themselves. They have like a little bit of water to them anyways. So I don't need to add water to this concoction to help soften the onions at all, because the onions will soften themselves. So I mix that up, and you start to hear it sizzle.
And I love how sweet onions get when they've been sauteed.
Oh, and they are. They're very, very sweet. So we also have, I'm going to add a little garlic powder, because I'm a big fan of garlic. So once I put my spices in, I'm still going to add a little garlic powder to that. But one of the other things that I'm really high on, because I love pasta. And a lot of people are like, I can't give pasta up. Well, you know what? You don't have to. I have found this thing called Pasta Zero. And I don't know if you can see it. Brian, will you walk that up there and show them, especially the calorie and the carb count?
Absolutely. Now, here's the front of the package of Pasta Zero. And then if you look on the back here on the calorie count, just so you can see it at home, the calories for this entire bag are,
About 2 servings.
Yeah, it's 15 calories a serving, about 2 servings, so 30 calories in this entire bag.
And 8 carbs. And so I can have a whole bag of pasta for 30 calories and 8 carbs, and it's good for you. And of course, it's made out of vegetable protein instead of made out of rice or made out of flour or what have you, or wheat. So this is much better for you. Now, of course, Brian, I don't have my glasses on, but do we have any kind of valuables that come out of that, like vitamins or anything?
Well, first of all, you get 3 grams of dietary fiber.
See, and that 3 grams of dietary fiber takes away from the 8 carbohydrates.
And so that's, and actually if you have the whole bag, it's 6 grams of dietary fiber.
So you have only 2 carbs. So by eating
2 net carbs.
2 net carbs is all you have.
And you also get 2 grams of protein total, which I know is not much, but more protein the better. And as far as vitamins on here, not really. A little bit of calcium, a little bit of iron, I mean, like 10% of the daily value of each, and then folic acid. But as far as any other vitamins, no. So it really, it adds that texture. Believe me, I've had there's a couple of different brands. My wife brought some home from work before, and she works with Central Market's corporate office, and she brings us home sometimes from the store, and different brands, different kinds, but they all have about the same amount of calories. The most I've ever seen is one bag having 70 calories.
Yeah, so this right here is 30 calories, and it goes back to what I'm trying to teach everybody, is that especially with the mindset, I like to eat. A lot of people that are overweight like to eat. And the problem is, if we look at a plate and all we get to eat is that size, in our minds we're thinking we're starving ourselves. So it's a mental picture. By volumizing your meal and learning how to live within your food, which is what I'm learning how to do, by eating pasta that has very little calories, almost no carbs once you consider the fiber, I'm going to have a full plate of food. So my onions and my jalapenos are sauteed just that quickly. This is 4 ounces of extra lean Jenny O turkey. Now, there's a reason for that. You don't want to buy just any turkey, because regular turkey has 240 calories in it. Lean turkey has 160 calories in it. Whereas extra lean turkey only has 120 calories in it, and that's 4 ounces of turkey. Now again, remember, I'm making a single serving, because I made chili the other night actually, and even my daughter, who is not eating healthy, chose that over pizza. And I was pretty impressed, because there was pizza in the fridge when she got off work, and there was my chili.
And the reason that the turkey he's using has so many fewer calories is because a gram of fat has more than twice as many calories as a gram of protein or a gram of carbohydrates. So when you have the same amount, if you had 2 ounces of fat compared to 2 ounces of protein, the fat would have, let's say protein had 50 calories, the fat would have, somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 calories. So that's why the difference in the calories.
So I'm sitting there and I'm chopping up the 4 ounces of turkey, and again, only 120 calories, and my jalapenos and my onions have already added volume, and I'll show you here in a second. I've already added volume to my turkey. So instead of it looking like just a little bit of turkey, it's like a lot of bit of turkey. Now here's the fun part of this. We're only going to eat about 900, maybe 950 calories today in our entire meal because of what we're eating. And again, lunch was the heavy meal. You're going to be shocked, but this chili, which is easy to make, takes less than 20 minutes to make. And again, I'm using a convection burner, so you could do this at work if you wanted. And of course, you can let your chili stew on the burner if you want, but you don't have to, because it'll meld pretty good, pretty fast. And just like that, my 4 ounces of turkey is already cooked. And so that's my extra lean turkey, my onions, and my jalapenos. So now we're ready. We're going to start our burner back, and this time we're going to turn our heat down. I was cooking that on a medium-high heat. We're going to cook that down to 275 now. And now we're going to add our tomatoes. And I chunked the tomatoes. Again, a Roma tomato, I only used a half because I'm only making 4 ounces. But again, I'm volumizing my food by adding that tomato. I'm adding more without having to add more calories. And that's the key, is being able to eat what you want and enjoy the flavors that you want without having to eat all the stuff that makes it bad. So now I'm adding Rotel. Now, I add Rotel because of the onions and peppers and tomatoes mix along with my fresh tomatoes. To add more volume, I used 1/4 of a can. There's 25 calories per serving. We figured out there's 60
Six,
65 calories.